Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We hope that everybody enjoyed the Leah Day video that she was so kind to put together and shared her entire experience with it. Now, thanks for staying with us as we've done part of this. We're going to be doing a couple of things. We have here coming up in about another hour our big giveaway for today, along with some other prizes. We have Mark and Carla. We're going to go back and see if we have some audio now. So let's go ahead and see. Hopefully, we're good to go with some audio. So we'll go ahead and have Mark and Carla share a few things with us from their perspective and see how they felt about part of what Leah Day shared as well.
Well, we're happy to be back. We're excited. And hopefully that whole Leah Day video has been fun. As Nathan mentioned earlier, she's a wonderful person, and where she came with our product and where she is, and to have that experience has been fantastic.
Yes, and just to have that knowledge, and she loves quilting, and it's a passion with her. So yeah, so it's so fun and so wonderful to see. You know, she was a very great quilter when she first started with us, but to see her expand her business, it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
All right. So with that, I thought maybe quickly, Carla and Mark, what I can do is go ahead and bring back up and just do a quick recap again, letting everybody know kind of what we have left for today. And then I wanted to briefly talk again, and I know it might seem like if you've been following us quite a bit today that there's going to be some recap. I know that several people have questions looking at maybe how to process and do some of the additional information when it comes to submitting your quilts. And so what I have is the site, and I just wanted to point out here at the top on the page, if we can look at this, we end up with the event schedule, which is kind of where we're at today. And we've had a great opportunity to participate in watching and doing the live, Leah. We've got coming up now, we're going to do a demonstration on the Q-Zone hoop frame. And we have two here, one with the 15 that we're going to talk about here in just a minute, but we're really excited about showing people how this process works. Carla's going to do a few things as she sews on this. We're going to be putting the machine. She'll talk also a little about a couple accessories called stitch regulation. Then we have our giveaway at 2 o'clock that we'll be doing. We'll then move back, and Leah Day has another great little quilt along that she's going to get us started with called the Autumn Quilt Along. It's a basket weave with part of the automation, which is really interesting as we get into that. And then we're going to look at some of the quilts that we have, and we're super excited about all those participants who had a chance to submit their quilts, and we're going to review some of those quilts out there. And then at the very end, we're going to end with Leslie Rutland, who's going to be talking a little bit about some things we call her the Yoda of sewing. So she does quite a bit in several different categories with not only sewing, but education at home, amongst others. And so we'll do a little bit of some information on her coming up as well. And then again, as we continue down, you'll find that there are a lot of other things that we'll continue to repost. And so you'll be able to see those at different events as we continue to repost them. And then again, back at the very top, I'm going to go ahead and click on this whole quilt show and tell, and this is where you can submit your quilts. And again, just a quick reminder is that we're doing prizes for each category, and we have several fun categories for people to be able to participate in. And we're hoping that everybody really has and can find something they can relate to. We call, Hall of Shame is one of those first things. Is it anything that you're kind of wanting to hold off on, but you're going to share it with us anyway? We would love to see that stuff, any kind of unfinished, wild, your imagination, anything that's been put together, holidays, the surprise or the oops, the quilts. There's the blood, sweat, and tears made from scraps would be one of our last categories. And remember, as you go into those, if you've submitted a quilt, and just so you know, if we were to look at this today and now, you'll see that there are several more quilts that have been submitted even here this afternoon since we've been streaming live. But you can go in there and you can ask and invite friends to come vote for your quilt. You can send that to Facebook, you can email, you can copy those links. So I just want to encourage everybody to share, go out and share with them where you're at and what quilts you've submitted, and let's have them go ahead and vote for you. So we're excited about that whole process. With that, as we kind of go back, maybe Mark, I thought I would just do a quick bit of information and have you share with us a little bit more. I know we're doing several giveaways today that are smaller in between some items, and I know we have a wheel that we're going to spin. So maybe talk a little bit about if we're going to be giving away a few more surprises today, what should people be listening for or looking for as we're going throughout this? And let me go ahead and get you your mic back, Brad, back on here. So there you go.
Thank you, Nathan. We do have giveaways that we want to do, and especially during this next segment, we're going to be talking about our Q-Zone Hoop Pro.
Yes.
The machines that could go on it, all the ins and outs about this particular frame. And during this segment of the live video, there's going to be some stuff that Carla and I will both be touching about and bring it up. And we would like for you, obviously, to pay attention, because in the next time we draw for prizes with the wheel, we're going to ask some questions that were pertaining to this particular segment. And that's how you're going to win. So please, pay attention. Before we start, make sure if you have to go grab some food and some drinks. So this next one is going to be fun. And the prizes are back here. Not sure if we can see, maybe not as much, but there we go. Carla can grab some. So we have, again, the electric sharpener, one that truly does work. It does carry the sharpening stones. These are diamond grit stones. So this is one. We also have the Quilter's combo, mentioned a little earlier, but this has all three of the main quilting tools that you need. So we have our ergonomic 45 cutter, we have our true grips, and we have our 6.5 by 24.5 ruler. All right.
Yeah, triangle rulers.
And we also have circle cutters, triangle rulers. So this circle cutter is able to obviously do your circles, right, as you cut. So we have this to give away. We have individual rulers for different processes. We have threads, just many wonderful gifts, and a lot of them obviously are great for your cutting experience. And one that will allow you to continue to cut straight and be more accurate and be more safe than before. So wonderful gifts to give away. These types of gifts we will go ahead and do over the spinning wheel in the back. And again, the questions that we'll ask to win these prizes will pertain to this particular segment.
Well, wonderful. I appreciate you taking some time and sharing some of that. We'll probably do some demonstrations on some of those products. I know we have some other time slotted in some of our other streaming events as well that we'll be doing here. Again, can't help but encourage you to go back and find out what we have going on next Tuesday, the following Tuesday. We're also going to be doing some streaming on November 30th, which is the first week of November, and our last full day will be November 6th. So we're really excited to be coming and bringing several different things back to you with many different educators. We're going to have panels with some guest speakers. We've had some great education shared with us from some of our international ambassadors as well. So we're excited about that. I'm going to stop. Mark, what I would like to do is have you and Carla, and again, please bear with us if you've been with us here in the past a few different times. This is probably the product that we get most questions on. And I think the reason is it's actually one of the most popular products because it spans such a wide variety of quilters. And not only quilters, but there's an expansion and it crosses all the ages. It also is one of the most affordable products that we have, and it fits in, it takes up the least amount of space. But then one of the nice things is there aren't a lot of restrictions. So what I would like to do is turn some time over to Mark and Carla to walk through and demonstrate and do a product review of our Q-Zone hoop frame. And then I know, Carla, you've also had a chance to use this several different times and completing some different quilts. And I think Carla's pretty excited to share with us some of the quilts that she's also finished on this item as well. So thank you for joining us and staying with us. And then coming up here in about a little over 55 minutes, we'll do a big giveaway and we'll talk about some additional prizes. So Mark and Carla, to you.
Fantastic. Yay. So this is the part what we love to do, right?
This part.
Because now you can see the product.
Yes.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to go really the in and outs of the frame that's behind you. And
we get to go in more detail than we usually have because we're not so much on a time constraint. And so we get to really delve in and show you the ins and outs.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about this frame, Carla.
Okay.
Now, like Nathan had mentioned, this has been our most popular frame because of its size, its versatility, And in order for all that to happen, we're going to make sure you guys fully understand what it is. And so during this time as well, we would love to answer any questions. So any question you have regarding the hoop frame, please feel free to chat in, and we'll get to those questions throughout this this part.
Yeah, and the demonstration's going to be on our Hoop Frame Pro. We have both the regular T-zone hoop frame right here and the Hoop Frame Pro, but we're going to show you the demonstration on the Pro. And one of the key features to the Hoop Frame Pro is the dual track system. It's just like on our big continuum frame and some of our other frames. This dual track system makes it so that it glides very smooth and very easily across. So when you're quilting, you're not going to get hung up or have a lot of friction on it. So it's just going to glide very smooth across your quilt.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's first start at the frame. Let's talk about the height adjustability of the frame, right? You notice that we are both sitting at the frame. That's one of the nice features about this frame is you can sit. Now, the reason we wanted a frame that you can sit is really to bring a new concept, not more say new, but when you're quilting at home, and I'm sure we have a lot of users who have been using their domestic machine on a table of some sort, right?
They're called sit-down quilters, and that's what you sit down in your quilt.
Absolutely. Now, as a sit-down quilter, that also brings some unwanted
stress. It's very hard.
Yes. And now there's a lot of people who can do sit-down quilting and not realize some of this stuff.
Wonderful sit-down quilter. That's how she started.
Absolutely. But when we know there's a better tool out there, we want to get it.
It's a tool that makes it easier for you to quilt.
Absolutely. Now, as we mentioned, sit down, right? The machines that can fit on this frame is a wide range, right? Going from domestic up to 19 inches. So domestic up to 19 inches, and that's a huge, huge range of machines. But before we get to those machines, let's go back again. Now we're sitting at the frame, and you can sit to use your foot pedal. We're also going to talk about some accessories we can use on the machine. So right now, we have the frame where it's at. Let's talk about some of the features of the frame other than sitting. What else does this frame have?
Well, it has the carriage, and the carriage is what the machine is going to sit on. You have your bottom carriage, which is your side-to-side movement, and your top plate where your sewing machine sits with the handles, and it's your front-to-back movement. So you get that smooth glide XY axis while you're quilting. And so that's something that comes with the frame. You also get your clamps to attach your fabric with, and you get the front clamps and your back clamps. This frame does come with the height adjustable legs, but also what's nice about this frame is that you can extend this arm right here out for longer arm quilters. So you get more quilting area than if you're using your domestic machine.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and look at the top plate.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to actually stand up and walk over here, and I'm going to show you viewers a little up close about this wonderful carriage here. Now I'm going to move this. Carla, let's go ahead and take off.
I'll just take it over here. Oh.
We wanted to keep it simple. So as you notice, we're going to just take this rail throughout the machine. Now, I'm going to show you this now at this camera here. Yep. So I'm going to tilt it. The reason I'm tilting it, I'm going to show you a couple things. One, these 4 black holders are for your machine. So your machine won't slide off. Now they're pretty heavy anyway, but this secures your machine on this top plate. This also top plate has the handlebars. So you notice the handlebars on the front and handlebars on the back. So you can do front work and back work.
And they're cushioned. So they feel comfortable. So they got a nice grip to it, so it's comfortable in your hand.
Absolutely. Now, as you put this on, it has ball bearing wheels. So this is where the smoothness come into
Right.
play. So these are ball bearing wheels. If we can see here, I'm going to maybe get a different angle here. These are really, really nice for your smooth movement from left to right. Okay. So we're going to go put this back on.
Now, if you're wondering about machine compatibility, please call our 800 number and speak to our account executive. They are very informative. They will be able to help you understand and know. And also check out our website so you can see the dimensions of the carriage and maybe you can measure before you call.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so there's other couple questions that are coming in. In particular, there's other frames on the market that's similar to this frame. There are a lot of features to this frame that other frames don't have. We're going to go over some of these. We'll probably answer some of the questions. We'll go over the square rails, which is what this has, the ratcheting system with the quilt clips that we mentioned earlier, as well as the features of a larger frame compared to this frame. So as we go ahead and get this going, I'm going to show you the quilt clips. Okay, we have it now ready for our machine to go on. Now, as we do this, Carla mentioned the quilt clips, and these quilt clips, I'm going to go ahead and show up close here. So there are ridges around these quilt clips, and these ridges actually are the ratcheting system.
Right.
Okay, so we all know we want our fabric nice and taut. And we don't want any, what would you call it?
Wrinkles and bumps, and yeah.
That's right.
Don't want anything in between them, even scissors or pins. So
that's right. And let's go ahead and put the machine on.
Wait, let's fix that encoder wheel before you do put it on the top, Mark. We're just changing around. We've got an accessory called the Sure Stitch on this that we're going to show you. We're just fixing the wheel.
There you go. And let's go quickly back to Nathan, who has a few comments.
Yeah, I just thought maybe what I could do is just answer a couple of questions that continue to come up as they're making some adjustments before they put the machine on. If anybody has bought a Qnique sewing machine, a 15 or a 19, remember Carla and Mark mentioned that this frame does accommodate machines up to 19. So yes, the 15 and the 19-inch machines will work on this frame. And I know that there are a few different questions on, well, what about my machine? You have multiple different brand machines out there. A good rule of thumb is that pretty much most all of the domestic machines will fit, even if they're wide in the back. We've designed this carriage when Mark showed you that there's enough space on that back to even work with the majority of those extra wide-bodied machines. And there are some out there in the domestic line that are about 13 to 14 inches. They work as well. And I think if I wasn't mistaken a little bit, I know we're going to get in here. We do have an accessory for some of those machines. If somebody has a sit-down machine that's around the 16-inch mark, we have a set of handles that we can show you here in a minute that allow you to still adjust those handles for even those 16-inch machines that are out there. But sorry, we'll go ahead and turn some time back over to Mark and Carla to go ahead and show us how easy it is to put that machine on, and we can go from there.
Yeah, we just had a comment this morning, I think, in the chat about a 16-inch or 22-inch long arm, or 18-inch, sorry. And it does sit on the top plate. You do get extended handles that will extend this direction, so it's easier for you to quilt. So that's an accessory that you can check out if you have a 16-inch or an 18-inch sit-down machine that you want to convert to sit on the frame.
Absolutely. All right, now we're ready to put the machine on. And again, very, very simple. Once we get the frame up, we're going to go ahead and grab our machine.
Right.
And we're going to push that right down. Now we're going to simply put the rail through the throat of the machine. And we have one thumb screw to put this in on this particular frame. It does come with three. We're going to use one for this demonstration, and it keeps it obviously nice and tight right in there. So, and that is putting it on. I'm going to come back around here now. We're going to talk about adding the fabric to the frame. Yeah. And this is a very simple process as well. And you could actually do it just with one person. But before we do that, in the past, we've been getting a lot of questions on how exactly do we want to put the fabric on the frame? Do we spray base? Do you want to pin base? What do we do before, I mean, start from the beginning process of putting the fabric on.
Okay, you do need to sandwich all 3 layers together, okay? And I do have a video on how to use leaders. They're an accessory that you can purchase if you want to. You don't necessarily have to use the leaders, but it is encouraged. And the leaders are just an extension of your fabric so that you can quilt all the way to the edge. Since I'm not using the leaders, I'm going to use my quilt as kind of my leader cloth, and I can't quilt all the way to the edge, so I will lose some right here. So that's why the leaders are very nice and very important. Yeah, so check those out online as well, because we have some specifically for the hoop frame. But you can spray baste if you want. You can baste along if you like. I do not like basting. I never have. So I don't baste, and I haven't had any problems with the fabric shifting. Now, if you have a piece back that you want that exact square or piece to be in the exact location, yes, I encourage basting so that it stays. And so as you're clamping and unclamping, you don't need to worry about it. And I would even encourage that kind of on your rolling frames as well. If you want it specifically in one certain place, you know, make sure that you're spray basting. So go ahead and do that. And let me just show you how easy it is to put on the frame.
So let's talk about that right now. Let's talk about how wide what we're doing right here, Carla. We have a question that came in asking how wide is what we're doing. And with that, before we get to that answer.
It's about 45 inches.
45 inches, okay. Now, the 4.5-foot frame,
right.
We're going to get in this a little more, but you have a 45-inch quilt, but we are going to, you can do much bigger.
Right.
Right.
You could do king size quilts.
King, queen, crib, twin,
right.
Table runner. Anything that we can do on a larger rolling rail frame, which we get into with some of the features and benefits of the frame with that caliber to the 4.5, you can do it on this 4.5-foot frame.
Well, and the difference is on the rolling frame, you're limited to the size quilt that you can quilt. This one doesn't limit you. You can quilt any size quilt. So that's a real feature and a big difference between the hoop frame and the rolling frame. Yes, you're shifting your fabric from side to side, front to back, but it's not that hard, and it's so easy to do. And because you don't have the room in your house, yeah, you can actually quilt and keep quilting, and you don't need to take up the whole house.
Absolutely. Now, as we go ahead and put this on, there's going to be more questions. So do we have any other questions right now that we would like to get to?
Right. So then that's the size that the quilting frame is with the quilt on it. So this one, I'm going to start it so that I can show you how I'm going to hoop it. So I'm just going to unclamp my clamps.
I'll hold those for you.
Sorry if it's a little noisy. Yes. And yes, you can add computer automation to it. And I actually have some quilts that I've quilted with automation. In fact, we are the only company that makes computer automation for the hoop style frames. And it's so intuitive and so easy to use. You'll love it. And
Absolutely.
It's so much fun.
As she's doing that, we talked about the computer automation. That's just one accessory that we could actually put on the hoop frame. Because we're using a domestic machine, so check the compatibility lists for those, for the automation.
I'm going to turn it
but
this
also
way.
Ruler work, right? If you want to do ruler work, laser, what other accessories? I'm curious, what other quilting styles do we have out there? If people want to chime in, do we like to trace patterns? Do we find tracing patterns being difficult? We can go over that and answer that. Do we find maybe using a smaller throat? You know, we talk about this frame can do a domestic up to a 19-inch machine. I'm curious to hear some of the thoughts from the users on using a 9-inch machine to start out with. I would like to know, because it's a great way to start.
All right. So actually, when we first started with the hoop frame, if you'll bear with me while I'm clamping these on, I got to be the lucky one to test it. And that was so much fun. And it was so different. But I was so amazed at how much I could do with just this small frame. And I actually quilted a queen size quilt using my domestic machine.
We have some, let's go ahead, Nathan, with that comment that was back on the screen. Let's see. So Vicky, and we appreciate the comment. So Vicky also mentioned that she had currently using the FOF with the Creative 4.5. I am seriously thinking about getting a Qnique, but not sure which one. I also want the computer component. So great comment. Thank you. And the Qnique machine, it's really, you know, if we're talking about Qnique machines, let's quickly touch upon this.
Okay.
This 4.5 foot frame can go up to our 19-inch Qnique. So if we're looking at a space-saving frame because we don't have room in our home for a rolling rail,
Right.
then and you want to think about it considering the Qnique, the 19 is the biggest. Obviously, it goes to our 15 as well, so you can go up to a 19. If you're thinking about getting a rolling rail frame that can do a king quilt like our Continuum, that'll fit up to our 21 on down. So all of our machines will fit on the Continuum. And this particular frame, the 19 and the 15 will fit on it. So good comment on that. And then Sonia, so
Yes, the
Destiny Baby
Blue.
Lock, too big. It is not.
No, it's not too big. It will fit.
Absolutely. So any other comments? To upgrade Q-Zone to Pro, you can buy the dual track.
Yes, you can upgrade. So if you have the single track system, you can purchase the dual track.
Yep. And we'll get into that a little bit here down the road, talking about the upgrade from our previous. The frame that's by me is our standard hoop. The one by you, Carla, is our Pro. So we'll get into the feature sets between the two. What other thoughts do we have as we put that on? Now, you guys notice that she did that all by herself.
Yeah.
Right? I just sat down while she did that. So quick and easy. But now that we have it on, is there a particular spot you like to start quilting? I see that you have your fabric more on the left showing.
Well, yeah, that would be my starting area. And I maybe didn't get it shifted down quite as much. So I would move my machine down so that I could start it more to the edge of the quilt. But we don't need to worry about that because this is just a demonstration. So yeah, move your machine down, and that will give you kind of an idea of where you want to start quilting, just barely in, just a little bit. And then you'll just quilt, and you'll get done, and you'll shift it to the side, and then you'll start working your way down your quilt. Now you can see that I did the quilt lengthwise rather than width, just to show you that how you clamp it on with the extra length.
Absolutely. Now, as we look at doing the machine, there's a couple of things we're going to do. One, we're going to operate this machine by foot pedal, right? So those who have just a foot pedal machine, not a problem. We also have our stitch regulator.
Right.
We're going to also use a stitch regulator. And again, for the regulators, you want to check the compatibility list on our website to see if your machine is compatible with the stitch regulator.
And Tammy, no, you don't need a large throat machine. Now, I'm going to stipulate that if you have a machine that's like 5 inches, yes, you're going to be hooping a lot more and you're going to run out of quilting area. You're only going to be able to quilt so far. I suggest that it should be at least a 9-inch throat or larger. However, you can quilt with what you have. Don't let it stop you from starting out and putting your machine on your frame. Yes, you will be ready to change out machines, but at least you're at a starting point where you're learning that you can enjoy it, and you don't have to change frames. You can just upgrade to a longer arm.
No, yeah, and I want to make a quick comment on that. So we're getting a lot of other questions, like Julie, will my 11-inch machine work? Absolutely. Yes. So we're talking about a domestic machine,
right?
Machine
that you're piecing your quilts with.
Yes. Yep. up to a 19-inch machine. So we're talking about the smaller 9-inch machines, even if you have a 7, maybe, or a 5
7
now.
or 5, yes.
Yep.
Those are small, but you can still quilt with them. We started out a gazillion years ago with our very first machine quilting frame using my little Bernina machine. And you could quilt with it. So don't let the size throat stop you.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead, and Nathan has a couple comments. Let's bring him back in.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate this. I think that these are all fantastic questions that are coming through. We're really trying to do a lot on the website as well. We know that there are many questions that people have regarding your domestic sewing machines and sizing. One thing would be is people are asking about, well, how wide? We do have the dimensions on the Carriage to show you the space in between those handles. We'd encourage you to go to graceframe.com and then look at the Q-Zone hoop frame page. It's underneath frames. You'll find that there's a whole lot. And then obviously you can chat as well. So you can chat with anybody live here while we're here through 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And then we do answer emails, and then you can call as well. That 1-800 number Mark mentioned, 1-800-264-0644. So know that there's a lot of resources that we're trying to do. And then Carla has several videos. If you go to graceframe.com on the top, up over on the right, you'll see resources, and we have all sorts of videos that talk about how the fabric is applied to this frame. And, I like to go back with some of the questions and comments that Mark and Carla have made. Is the thing that we really did when we created this frame is, it was literally, I've been with this for 14 years, and it's been something we've been trying to solve. Hey, how do we take and create a smaller frame that fits into more places than these big, large frames? It doesn't take up a dining room table space, which is great. It just need to give away your husband's or his recliner. So, oh, wait a minute, just kidding. So everybody's gonna freak out. No, they're gonna laugh, say that's a good idea, and they're like, wait, that's a bad idea. But again, it's about the size of a medium-sized desk, and so our goal was to make this more accessible to more customers. It's not limiting the size of the projects you can do, which is very unique. And then we've had a couple people ask about some of the specific parts, like the ratcheting mechanisms, the clips and clamps. They are all included. So those, you don't need anything else if you buy the frame. You do get the trolleys, you get the clips, the clamps, you get some side tension clamps, and you can put your machine on there and use your foot pedal. I know that Carla and Mark will hear just in a minute, they're going to talk about stitch regulation. So I thought maybe I'll just briefly touch on this. There was this question on stitch regulation versus computer automated or automation. And I just want to kind of clarify it. Let me first talk about what computer automated means. If you think of embroidery, put your hand up if you have an embroidery machine at home, or if you have a friend who has one, and they have a hoop, and then that hoop moves around, and then the pattern is stitched onto that fabric automatically. Well, automation, if you buy it on a frame like this, kind of does the same thing, where it will move the machine across the surface automatically, stitching out a pattern. And I know Carla will show us a quilt that she's done utilizing the automated system. And we've spent years developing software that's smart enough that it knows where the pattern is. It knows once it's done, it helps mark it, and then it helps you realign that pattern to move through the entire quilt. So that's computer automation. Not usually when we talk about getting the hoop frame, not an inexpensive accessory, because it's a very smart part of the system with software and hardware and things that go around moving the machines and automating those. Stitch regulation is specifically about the machine and how the stitch accuracy can be managed, meaning the machine can speed up and slow down. And we do have our Sure Stitch on this Juki that we'll show you. So when Carla ends up sewing it, instead of using a foot pedal to try to manage and speed up and slow down, it will automatically speed the machine up and then automatically slow the machine for consistent stitches. This is one of the big reasons most people move to a mid-arm or a long arm machine, is because they pretty much all come with stitch regulated systems, or their stitch regulation built into those long arms or mid arm machines. So Mark and Carla, I just wanted to kind of touch on those couple points as we continue, and we'll go ahead and turn some time back over to the two of you. So thanks.
Thank you, Nathan. A couple comments as you were talking, Nathan, I wanted to just briefly touch upon. Charlene, one of them, she has a 21 Pro with the Continuum, and she said that the machines are absolutely fantastic, and that's true. So all of our Qnique machines are phenomenal. And as Nathan mentioned, with these machines, they're built-in stitch regulation, and that's the next step. But before we get to that next step, we're focusing on the step that most users are probably still using, which is, again, the domestic machine.
with their foot pedal. So
With
we're
their
going to
foot
show you
pedal.
both the
Yep.
foot pedal and the stitch regulation so that you can see how both methods work, and you can decide. Give us a call if you have questions on if your machine is compatible. We do have a compatibility chart online for the stitch regulations, so check that out as well.
Absolutely. Now, other comments, because we have this fantastic fall festival, please go to our website. They are on sale. So I saw a couple of comments come in. So the
Right.
Hoop Pro that we're talking about now is $11.89. All right, $11.89 with a free light bar. Okay. And then the frame that I'm next to is our standard hoop, and that's $8.89 with also a free light bar. So they are at a fantastic price. So if you have been looking and you want to pretty much turn your domestic machine into a long arm by moving it on top of the fabric instead of moving the fabric underneath, what a great opportunity is. So please, if you're ready and you've been looking at it, now is a great time to purchase.
Yeah, so is the stitch regulation on sale as well? So if their machine's compatible with that?
So the
Okay.
stitch regulation, they can give us a call.
Okay.
They could also go through their dealerships to find
Okay.
out any of these. But yeah, we have the regulation. So give us a call. If you're looking for a total package, then we'll be happy to help you
Okay.
out. So with any of our product,
The dealer locator.
yes, with any of our product, we have a dealer locator that you can go and check out. If you're in an area that we have a dealer, that's a great opportunity because that dealer can take care of you. You're in the same state, and they will make sure that you're taken care of. So look at our dealer locator to find a dealer near you. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's fire this up. Now, what are we using first here, Carla?
We're just going to use the foot pedal first.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
walk
thought I'd
back
show
here.
you how to
Let's go
use
to
the
turn
foot
this
pedal.
on.
So you need to plug that one in.
Yep, we're gonna unplug the regulator. And we're
So-
gonna go ahead.
And you are plugging your machine into the outlet. And the stitch regulator also plugs into your outlet.
Okay, so now that that's ready, we are ready to use it with a foot pedal.
Right.
Now, Carla, I know as we're quilting, you're going to notice when Carla is using the machine, you're going to be kind of offset from the handles, right? That's not what we're going to be normally doing.
That's
You're gonna
not
be
how
in
you
front.
quilt.
No,
I'm just trying to let the camera zoom in so you can see.
that's
And
right.
they're not going to be that great, wonderful designs that you would see.
That's right. Now, before we start, I'm going to go back again. I apologize. We briefly talked about the quilt clips. If you guys can see how nice and taut the fabric is up top, okay, that is because of the quilt clips that we talked about being, the rails are square and those quilt clips have ridges in them. And so that is where the tension that you want comes in effect. And so you won't sacrifice, if you've been hearing you need a rolling rail frame because it has a ratchet system, there's no sacrifice getting this frame. You do not, really you gain because you won't have to worry about the space. And so with this frame, everything that we can do with a larger frame can be done on this frame. Carla mentioned that you do need to hoop the fabric, and we'll talk about that on how to realign it back up.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I think we're excited. I think the viewers, I think they're excited. Let's go ahead
let's get in there and do some quilting.
Yes.
So I have to move in just a little bit. Okay, and I did put my presser foot down. Now on your machine, you will need to replace your regular foot with a quilting, with a quilting foot. Sorry, I don't hear what cameras are on. So anyway, you will need to replace it with a quilting foot or an embroidery foot or that foot that's used for free motion. Okay, and then you'll put your feed dogs down. So make sure you do that. And I'm just going to use my needle up, needle down. Grab my bottom thread here because I know it's a big long tail underneath. And you don't want that sewn underneath. That's all I did. And I brought it back to where I'm going to start. And I'm just going to take my foot pedal here. And I'm going to start pressing down on it. And it's as easy as that. And I don't have stitch regulation on it, but look, it looks pretty darn good.
And as she's doing that, I just want to point out that She is moving a domestic machine on top of the fabric. And we here at the Grace Company always like to talk about when you write your name on a piece of paper.
All right, I'll stop.
Right? No, you can keep going.
It's so much
hard
fun.
to get you to stop once you start, right?
Yes, it is.
But one of the things that we like to always refer to is when you write your name by moving the fabric right underneath, is like moving the paper underneath your pen.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot. If you haven't tried that, I would like you to try, getting your pen and your paper and moving the paper to write your name. All right. As we see kind of right there on the screen, it is, very, very hard. So now with this trolley, your machine's on top, you're moving the pencil around like we're all used to doing. And it's very, very simple, very, very smooth. What was that again, Nathan? Okay. So
are we ready to see the stitch regulation in action?
Let's do the stitch regulation. Now, let's talk about what that regulation does. Obviously, regulating.
We'll show you what it does, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to go back there and hook everything back up. If you want to let the viewers know kind of
what the stitch regulation has little sensors on your bottom carriage, which is your side-to-side movement. They're called encoders. And it has one on the bottom carriage and one on the top carriage, which is your front to back movement, okay? So those little sensors are plugged into where your foot pedal usually is plugged into, and it senses the movement of the machine. So as you start moving the machine faster, it tells the machine, okay, they're moving it faster, start sewing faster. And so it keeps your stitches more consistent and even. It's not going to keep them totally the same size, but it's going to make them so much nicer and more consistent. So that's what we're going to show you. And if you can adjust the speed of the machine up or down, which all tells the stitch length as well. So, so you get into the rhythm of sewing.
Absolutely.
So are we ready to see how it works?
We are ready. I think it's ready to go.
You can see my little light is on. So now it's ready.
So let's talk about the control box up here with that light. So I don't know if we can show. There's a number 5. What does that 5 represent, and what do these buttons represent?
The 5 represents the speed. So it goes all the way up to 9, and it goes down to 1. And that takes you out of the stitch regulation. Perfect. So yeah, and this is a pulse button and on and off button. So you can raise and lower the speed.
And assembling these on your domestic machine is very simple. In the box, you get a couple encoders. One goes on the top plate carriage that I showed earlier, and the other encoder goes on the bottom trolley or the bottom carriage that runs the length of the frame. Those encoder wheels is the key ingredient on what's really setting the message to the needle on how fast and how slow you're moving. And so outside of that, you have a control box. And then it's very simple to assemble. So it's not, you don't need to understand how, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. It's
so easy to put on.
Simple.
Yeah, you don't need your husbands or anybody else to do it for you. All of our products all of our products are made so that you, the quilter, can assemble them. And if I can do it, you can do it. And so I encourage you on any new product to do it yourself and learn how it works. And by putting it on and doing it yourself, you learn so much more of how functions go with the frame and the accessories. So, all right. So I don't have to use my foot pedal anymore. All I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to turn on and see how the needle's just going to start. And you can hear it speeding up and slowing down. But you can see how my stitches are a little different. They're more consistent.
That's beautiful.
All right, I'll stop now.
No, you don't need to stop. You don't need to stop. But see how easy that was? If you're the type of
too.
Yeah, it's fun, right? Now, if you're the type of person that has a hard time keeping your stitches consistent, by using your foot pedal.
Right, and it is hard with the foot pedal to keep it at one even, because you're pushing down on it, and you know your design, and you want to push a little harder. So yeah, this eliminates all that.
Absolutely. Now I will say with the foot pedal though, Carla, that the foot pedal with a machine, as you're moving it, is much easier to control your stitch length, because you don't need to manage your fabric with your hands,
right?
Keeping up with the speed of how fast or how hard or how soft you're pressing your foot pedal.
Yeah.
So with that said, that would keep it easier. So if you could only use a foot pedal, having it on a frame, you're going to find that using your foot pedal is easier than to move your fabric and use your foot pedal. But then, like you said, the regulator, you don't have to, now if you speed up or slow down, you're going to get the same consistent stitches.
Right. So yeah, check it out. Check out our stitch regulator online and see if your machine is compatible. But like Mark said, you don't need the stitch regulator to quilt. We've just proven that. So don't let that be the hang up and stop you.
Absolutely.
It's a nice accessory,
yes.
but not needed to start quilting.
All right. Now, outside of the stitch regulation, and we saw how nice and easy and beautiful, right? It was stitching. There are other accessories we can use, right? And I saw some other comments come up. There are many accessories. Now, whatever you can use, like ruler work, right? The platform, right? Laser. Laser is one that as you see on the screen right there. Can you add a laser to the Gracie frame?
Right.
The laser is actually done with the carriage, and so any of our Grace carriages,
right,
you can add the laser to it. And
there's holes in the carriages.
There are holes.
You have 2 holes in the front for the right and left, and then 2 holes in the back. So you can mount it either in the back of your machine or in the front.
And let's keep that camera. Go back to camera 2 real fast, Brian.
Right. And
that's a great picture of it. Let's point it out right there, Carla.
Just a second.
The laser. Let's go ahead and point that out.
I was just going to point it. We mounted it to the back.
So there is the laser. Right now we have it at the back. The reason why we have the laser at the back is because that's where most quilters will like to do their quilting, is from the back, right?
Well, it's got that surface.
Yep. And that surface we're talking about is the tabletop. So underneath, let's go and pull that up. Underneath this frame, if we can see, there it is, the black. This right here is the tabletop. I'm going to come up here and point. So this down here is a tabletop that we're talking about. And so the Hoop Pro comes with this tabletop. That is essentially what you're going to use to do your laser work, right? So if you're doing your paper patterns, that's where you'd want to put them. Outside of the laser, we also have our Pattern Perfect basic set. That is a very, again, basic set that you can just attach the really much like groovy boards.
Yes.
Right? Put them on the tabletop. There'll be a stylus that attaches to the carriage, and that's how, and then you'll follow within the groove. So very simple, right? Now the laser though, however, let's talk about some of the laser practices.
And maybe I'm just going to move it to the front.
The laser is a little more, I want to say advanced, right? The laser is advanced because you can pretty much trace, you can print out any patterns, you can design patterns. We actually have on our site a software called Quilters Creative Design Pro. That is a design software program only that allows you to design your own patterns, and you can print them out and then you can use a laser. So what a great opportunity it is to get an accessory that you're not really bound to only a few designs. There are many, many designs that you can do. Now, with that said, let's talk about, Carla, some of the practices that's best used when we're using a laser. Because the laser, I'll tell you, it's not the easiest thing.
It's not. It does take practice. Okay, it's just like anything, practice, practice, practice. But if you don't get so hung up on being exactly on the line and try to do it just like you're writing a letter, you do much better when you're using the laser. Now, I have changed it from the back to the front because I thought it'd be easier for you to see and use, but I hurried and stitched out or drew a pantograph. And let's see if I could do it just right down here.
Now, before you start that, as you talked about practicing.
Now, yeah, I just wanted to say, you can pull this extended arm out this direction, so you have a little bit more area to follow your little laser or pantograph along the front. That's a nice feature of the frames.
That is a
You
nice
can
feature.
pull it from the front or the back.
That's right. So that is good because with our hoop standard,
Right.
they don't come with the tabletops. We'll get that here just in a minute.
Mhm.
But that way you could either purchase them if you would like, but the frame, as Carla mentioned, you can actually put the patterns in front.
Right.
And quilt from the front side.
Right, and then you'll just kind of roll it up, readjust, and you'll want to pin it in place so it's not going to shift or move as you're going from side to side. But, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and then fire that up.
All right, so, so I'm just going to turn it on. And it's probably not going to look real beautiful, but you know what? It gives you an idea of what you can do and how to use a laser. And it's fun. It's worth trying out. There you go. Oh, I ran into my other design, so you can't really see it that well. Oh well, but it doesn't look too bad.
No, that's really good. Nice little pair. That's really, really awesome. So Nathan, let's go back to you with another couple comments.
Yeah, no, I just really wanted to say thanks, Carla, for demonstrating that. I know as we've done this in the past, they've always really, there's this kind of a lack of understanding. How might we engage with this product? And I know that this is probably still generating several more questions. Again, I would just wanted to come back to encourage everybody to feel free to go to our website, look under our resource tab on the top. If you're on a mobile device, you're going to see 3 small lines that you can then utilize in order to find the menus that then let you select resources. And Cara, I just want to say thanks for showing that. That's one of the great things about this frame is you can expand that front area out. In fact, let me just kind of bring that back up because we do this for a couple of reasons. We do this because you're going to start with your domestic as one of those things, and you're going to need to potentially put larger machines up to 19 inches. However, it's also great to use as a workspace. And so if you end up with a little more room that you can put in front of your machine, that can become your work surface. I know for me, if you were to look at a table or an accessory and work from the back, that I feel you get a little disconnected because you're behind the machine. I do prefer, if I can, to be out in front of the machine. So thanks for showing everybody. I know that that's something that people have been asking in the past. And I thought maybe what we can do as well, is there any other questions that we might have or any last clarifications you'd like to share about why you've liked using the stitch regulator? I know, again, it's not compatible with everybody's machine, but Carla, what are the benefits that you find? And I know we've talked about this a little bit here, but maybe Mark, with yourself, I'll maybe start off by just saying, I know that customers feel and they become a lot more confident when there's less for them to have to kind of worry about as they're moving through this process. And I know that it's requested quite frequently, but any other last thoughts you might have regarding that would be great.
So that you're not trying to do 2 things at once. I mean, yeah, it's not like piecing your fabric, because you're trying to concentrate on your beautiful design, and that's the only thing that you really want to worry about and think about. So concentrate on your design, and that's what's great about the stitch regulation. You don't have to worry about how fast you're moving. Well, you do, but you don't have to worry about overspeed and stuff like that to make your stitches look beautiful, and you can concentrate on your design.
Absolutely. Now, here is probably, again, one of the most questions we get asked. Okay. Mm-hmm. You created a nice masterpiece up top.
Oh,
now you ran out of space, right? We have all this fabric underneath.
Right.
Because it's a hoop frame, you could actually obviously hoop the fabric all around the 4 sides. Mm-hmm. And we need to get to those sides to also do quilting. So now let's go ahead and demonstrate how easy is it to realign your pattern back up. Because again, that is a question we get a lot.
Okay. So we're just going to shift our quilt really quick. And these straps are elastic and adjustable, so that as you fill up the space here, you can increase or decrease the size to have them hold really nice. So that's a nice feature with those elastic straps.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm just going to shift it down. Now I have left my needle in where I've stopped and gently slid it along to stay in the place, stay in the location that I want to start quilting, but we're just going to shift it just to show you. And
now, Carla, I want to mention, you had talked about you're keeping the needle in the fabric. What if I didn't put my needle in the fabric? How easy is it to still align your pattern
it's
back
very
up?
easy. You just go back to the last stitch that you left off and you can just continue on. And you'll pull your bottom thread up always, but it's not hard to do. And you can just tell, I always put my clamps on first before I put my elastic straps, just to make sure that it's nice and straight. Now, you'll be using a pieced quilt, and so you'll have adjustments that you'll have areas that you'll know that it's on nice and straight. Okay.
Now, I want to point out this. Now, what did we take? That was probably 2 minutes.
I'll make
maybe
sure
if
that you clamp
2
them.
minutes. But it is really simple to shift your fabric. So we're not talking about a long process. We're not, again, sacrificing so much when you get this nice hoop frame that is really not worth getting. There's so many nice features about it. And again, shifting the fabric was done simple by one person, which means you can do it by yourself in your own home, and it doesn't take a lot of time to really shift your fabric
Any
around.
longer than it does on a rolling frame, because you're unclamping your rolling frame and you have to go to the side and unroll it, and so it doesn't take you any longer. So don't let that stop you. And then I'm just going to bring it over here, and I'm going to start from where I left off. Oh, I don't have my foot pedal. I forgot. And you're just going to continue quilting. Yes, and when you purchase the Q-Zone hoop, you get the light bar as well. And Mark will just tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So again, going back to it, fantastic fall.
Yes.
Festival. We have some fantastic sales as well. Going back to it again, the hoop frame, either one of these hoop frames, you get a free light bar. So that's a $600 value for free.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And the frame's already on sale. So again, we're looking at $11.89 for the Pro, $300 less at $8.89. We're looking at the standard hoop. Both of these frames, you get a free light bar.
And the light bar is fabulous. It just gives you that much more light to work with. And as our eyes get older, we need more light.
Yep. As you can see on the screen right there, the 449, I'm sorry, that is the 5-foot light bar. So
we do have
the 600 is for if you buy the continuum. So the $450 price is for the 5-foot that you would get, right? So that light bar is fantastic. Everybody needs or wants more light, and it is freestanding with casters, so they can actually roll that light bar around.
And if you don't have the light bar, you already have a setup. Don't call. Yeah, because it works over your work surfaces, your tables. I mean, it's not just for quilting frames. It's for so much more. So check out the light bar online.
Absolutely. Do you have any questions? Any questions at all that we can help answer as we went through the whole shifting the fabric? Anything come up? Nothing's come up. Okay. If we do get questions, again, feel free to ask those questions. We will love to get to them. But let's go ahead and Nathan, let's bring you back up. There you are.
Hey, now I just thought I'd kind of just come back and join us. I know as we've gone through this, I want to kind of preface and Carla and Mark, and I thought now would be maybe a great transitional time as you're finishing in, as you kind of shared so much wonderful information on the frame. Thank you very much. I know that we're not getting a whole lot of questions on that process. Maybe before we transition, but where I'm going is great information. Let's look at a couple last key things to clarify the Q-Zone hoop frame that's on sale for $889. And let's talk about that, and then the difference between the Q-Zone Hoop Frame Pro, which is the one that you're current demoing on. And then we'll move over and we're going to talk about how the frame, again, can use those bigger machines. And I think it'd be a great time to introduce the 15R, which is one of the giveaways that we're about ready to move into here. So maybe clarify with us again the differences between the Q-Zone and the Q-Zone Hoop Frame Pro and what those two things are.
Absolutely. So the Q-Zone Hoop Standard, we'll start with there, has no tabletop. So earlier in the video, we mentioned that the Hoop Pro has those black tabletop. And we could get a good picture there if we go to maybe camera
Right
one.
under there.
So that has a nice black tabletop. The Standard, again, does not come with that. The Standard has a single track. Which is on the frame itself has one track that rides the length of the frame, and on the Pro, it has our professional track system that we offer on our Continuum frames. So it's a dual track system. There you go. So what that means is the wheels itself are almost angled, almost like, I want to say like a roller coaster where you have more touch.
They're V-shaped.
Yep, they're V-shaped, so you're gonna get smoother. They're going to stay on. Yeah, fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, on the Standard hoop, a lot of our frames in the past we built them with a single track, right? There's nothing wrong with the single track, and we still do that to this day.
And it's
because
smooth.
It works.
Don't get me wrong, it's smooth.
It's still smooth, absolutely. The other thing that the Pro comes with are the cloth leaders. And so we really didn't talk about that, but it does come with cloth leaders. And on the hoop particularly, the cloth leader has a rope, so to say.
Yeah, a cording that goes, it makes it easier for you to start rolling.
That's right. And so to get all the fabric that goes through the throat of your machine, you can now roll that with this rope cloth leader, just like you would on a standard rail. Again, so you're not sacrificing anything to get pretty much the hoop. So the Hoop Pro, tabletop, the dual wheels, and the cloth leaders for $11.89. Again, that's a fantastic price with the free light bar. The Standard, it does not come with the tabletop. It comes with a single track, and there's no cloth leaders. And some people might ask why. I know quite a few quilters who either make their own or they actually keep the fabric a little wider on the backing, right?
And a little longer. So always your backing needs to be wider, even with the leaders.
Absolutely. So those are the differences between the two. And again, $11.89 for the Pro, $8.89 for the Standard. Both of those is a win. Right? You can't really go wrong with either one of those. It's fantastic with the light bar. So now, Nathan had mentioned earlier our 15R, right?
Yes.
Great transition from a domestic. So now we have the users who've been using their domestic machine, and that's a great way to develop that motor skills, I guess you would say, right?
Start out with your domestic machine.
Yes. You're turning your domestic machine into a long arm, so to say, moving it around. That feel and that know-how is huge for you to be able to process going from the domestic machine to the long arm machine. So great transition. So as we transition, let's talk about the 15R machine, right? Carla, let's go ahead and talk about some of the features. Now, before I go on, Nathan mentioned earlier, this is the giveaway. Right? With
the hoop frame, so yeah.
That's right. So this entire package is the giveaway. We have our 15R, we have our hoop frame, and that is the entire package. We're giving it away. We're giving that away. So that's crazy. So let's go over some of the features that we have on the 15R. And I'm going to maybe roll. Nope, I'm going to be in the way if I do that. But let's go ahead and do this. That's not going to happen. Let's go behind Carla. I'm sorry, people.
We're I'm just going to grab my quilt so we can talk about them in a minute.
Me and Carla are going to trade spots.
Okay. All right, so
show and tell time.
Yeah, this little quilt here, I have several to show you. I love the hoop frame. And this little quilt here, I love to come up with quirky things and quirky designs, was done on a hoop frame. I love piece backs. That's my back. And this is my little quilt that I did on the hoop frame, and I free motion quilted this. It's just kind of fun and different, and these hearts right here are my oopsie hearts. it wasn't quite straight, so I kept going around them and around them and around them, and they got a little bigger, but it turned out fun. It's got kiss, kiss, kiss along the top with some lips, and in here is XO, 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 and then I just kind of did some fillers, and inside the lips here, it's kind of fun. I just did a bunch of free motion swirls, and it was fun. I just couldn't, stop quilting. I just had a lot of fun quilting it. So that's my free motion quilt.
Let's do this one. Let's go to this camera here, and let's show them really close up on how detailed this is. And so pucker up, everybody, because here are some lips right here.
Yeah.
And then the hearts. So if we show the corner, this is the heart she talked about. Let's bring that in.
They got bigger and bigger. Yeah. I'm not afraid to show my mistakes.
And that's okay. As I mentioned earlier, those mistakes, that's what makes your quilt your quilt. This is your quilt with mistakes that you made. Yeah, you get better as you go along. That's one thing with quilting. I'm much better quilter now and piecer, because you didn't start out piecing perfect. This quilt right here is really fun. It's a cute little quilt. And some of you have already seen this before, but this was completely done with the automation. And I just love the green and the black and the white. It's a striking little quilt, but all this was with the automation, and you can see how nice on the hoop frame, so we had to shift it along and quilt the borders and everything. And, it's not absolutely perfect, but you're never going to know unless you're up here with a magnifying glass saying, uh-oh, that's off. Anyway, let me show you the back. The back's kind of fun too. I love showing the backs of the quilts. See how much fun that is? The little stripe on it. And that's different designs with using the automation. So I use several different methods on the hoop frame. And now I have one that I did a video with. And the video should be up soon. If not, But this is an edge-to-edge design that I used with the hoop frame. And look how nicely quilted. I showed you the back because it's a little easier to see the quilting design on the back, but I'll show you the front. This is the back side. And then the front is a little busier, so it's a little harder to see the design on it. But let's hold it right here, Carla. We're going to get a zoom in.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get that zoom. There we go.
There you go.
Look at the detailed.
Yeah, the automation is amazing. You are going to love it. All right. Okay, there's my show and tell.
Now, all of those you done on automation. And what frame?
No, I did the first one free motion, the lips. The lips. I did that with free motion, so I didn't have the automation. But the other two were completely automation.
And what frame did you do?
The hoop frame.
The hoop frame.
Yes.
So these quilts you did on the hoop frame.
Yes.
Right?
So you don't need a large frame to quilt.
No, absolutely not. Okay. So going back to this entire process with our domestic machines, your wonderful quilts, we have a giveaway.
Right.
Let's touch briefly on the 15R.
Okay.
And some of the features. But before we do, is there any questions that we could answer at this time? As she's getting... Okay.
Is this plugged in?
So I know one of them came up with like thread. And so I don't know if that question was pertaining to the domestic machine or to the 15R. But once you're out of thread, the Quilting machines actually have a bobbin winder built into it. And that's a fantastic feature. So you can wind your bobbins on top. That's right. And then if you're using your domestic machine, if you have your own bobbin winder system, then you can use that. So if you run out of bobbin, then you just simply wind some more and put them in. And then a question we have, how can we find a computer compatible with your domestic machine? So with the computer, if we're looking at getting the computer automation for our domestic machine, as far as the specs, the tablet specs, that is found on our website. and it's also on our website. Anything you want to find out, if it's compatible with we get that a lot.
Right, we do.
With what computer to be used, what machine to use. But all of that can be found out, because no matter what you're looking for, you can find that out on our website.
Because we do have the computer automation that is compatible with some of the domestic machines out there. So call them out. All right. Are we ready to go through the different modes?
Yeah, let's talk about the specs of the machine. Okay,
so you notice that I pulled the machine forward so that you can see that extra throat space that you get, so that extra quilting area with the 15-inch machine. And it makes it really nice. So this piece right here extending out this direction makes a big difference, because you don't have to upgrade your frame. You can just upgrade your sewing machine, and instead of taking your domestic machine on and off to do your piece, to start sewing your piece quilt tops together, you can get a dedicated quilting machine. And so let me just go through the little modes. This is regulated precise mode right here. And all you have to do is change the buttons and move to cruise. You have based, manual, and you can go into your tools. You can change it from left-handed to right-handed. So you get different modes of quilting, and you get that awesome stitch regulation. So you get a encoder sensor that mounts to your machine for the top movement, front to back, and one for the bottom carriage. Now, if you're upgrading, you're going to use your bottom carriage, but you're going to take your top plate and handles off. You're not going to be using those.
Absolutely. Now, we talked about the feature. So this machine has the 4 feature modes, right? Precise, cruise, based, and manual, right? 4 different ones. 2 of those are regulated. The precise and the cruise are regulated. Now, you notice right there on the screen, we have 3 buttons on the left and 3 buttons on the right. Those, for your thumbs, easy access to increase, decrease your speed, change your different stitch modes. It really doesn't, now you can have access, just like Carla's doing. So, wonderful machine, stitch regulation, 15-inch throat, and it's easy to maintain, easy to use, and it's fantastic. And we also have some fantastic promotions for this package on our website. If you're looking, we mentioned earlier that you can get a free hoop or a free Q's on Queen with the purchase of the 15R. So check those out on our website. But let's talk about some giveaways at this moment.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about giveaways, Mark.
So we mentioned we're going to be doing giveaways. Let's bring Nathan in here. I got a question, Nathan. When are we looking at doing that? And as we get him back on, these giveaways are, remember, again, through this segment. So we're going to be asking questions like maybe what throat of the machine could go on the hoop frame, maybe what stitch modes the 15R has. There's going to be some questions we're going to throw out based on what we talked about, and those are going to be the winners on that. So let's bring Nathan in.
So what we're looking to do, Mark, is let's do, I know you kind of got behind you in the middle there, the wheel. Maybe you can scoot that out. Let's go ahead and start off by giving, we have several different TrueCut items. Before we get into some of the big things, what I would like to do is we started explaining some of the key features on that 15. So the big giveaway, and by the way, this will be drawn. We have some names from those who have registered. We've had a significant amount of people participate. So thank you. Just so you know, we had a couple questions come up earlier. If you haven't by chance registered, we did change some of those registration tags to enter to win. You'll have your chance to participate in the drawings that we're doing as we continue throughout the next 3 streaming days following this. Right now, we do have a couple winners that we're going to announce. But before we get into those key winners, Mark, when we talk about the excitement of what this frame and this machine are and why they should be super excited about getting this and bringing this into their home, let's do a couple other key giveaways. It looks like you have a basket. And I know, Mark, again, maybe just quick highlight from the top, some of the things that are in there and why somebody should be so excited. And I know we have a wheel, so we'll ask a couple key questions. that we'll use to see who can answer those, and then we'll have you spin the wheel for them. Maybe we'll have Carla spin a wheel for them here, and we'll give out some of those prizes really quick too. I know that a lot of people, you weren't expecting to get some of that. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for streaming. We are giving away a bunch of these other freebies throughout the day as we're doing these live streaming events. So if you're with us, stick with us because we're utilizing those that are commenting and giving those people who are joining us a chance at winning some of these live prizes that we're giving away, along with announcing some of the bigger prizes to those people who've already entered your names to win. So Mark, I'm going to kind of ask you and see if there would be a key question that we wanted to bring up regarding this past demonstration that you did. What would be one of those key questions you would like us to post for everybody and see what we can do as far as getting a first answer on that?
All right. So let's go ahead and start with the differences between the Hoop Pro and the standard hoop. What are the 3 differences between the two? If you remember, let's go ahead.
We'll pull this up. Give me a second, I'm putting it up there.
And now we're waiting. And so at this process, we're looking.
So this is part of the question we're looking at. There's 3 key differences. It's going to be a little bit of a different one between the Q-Zone hoop frame, the standard one that actually we have the 15-inch machine on, and the Q-Zone hoop frame Pro. And we're looking for all 3 in your answer, all 3. We do have parts of those. We're seeing rails. Oh, okay, here we go.
We have a winner?
Yeah. Here we go. This is the first full one. Let me just check here. Keep your eye on that one really quick for me. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. We got one right here.
This is so exciting. I mean, to see the answers come up.
We're going to go ahead and give Sandra Montoya, because it is the table. The Pro comes with the table inserts. It does come with the dual track rails, and it comes with the leader class. So congratulations. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and spin a wheel and see what prize we're going to be sending. Make it an aggressive one. And then just so you know, what we're looking to do is have you email. So Sandra, if you're still with us, email sales, S-A-L-E-S, sales@graceframe.com. I'll quickly post that here. So again, let me put that up here before we show her what she's won. Sales@graceframe.com. We've taken note of your name as well, but if you'll email us the contact, we'll get back online with you. By the way, if there's anybody else that isn't joining us right now, if you have some friends, invite them to come here as we're moving throughout some of these free giveaways before we give the big one away. And why don't you go ahead? So what did they win? Go ahead and share with us what they won, Mark, and why that's an amazing prize.
Comfort cutter. This is our ergonomic cutter from our TrueCut line. And what a fantastic price, Sandra. So this in particular, so it is, you see the curved handle. Now, I think I have one in here. I'm gonna pull out, so I apologize for this. I'm gonna get one out of the package. Okay. I'm gonna dig in my, all right, so, we have some tape on here. All right, so here it is outside the package. The curved handle, I'm gonna briefly talk about the features of this particular cutter. So with the curved handle, this allows you to really cut with comfort. You know, the blade is facing towards the fabric. So now when we go to cut, you simply just put it on. And now a lot of this stuff's on our website, but it keeps your wrist straight, one of the benefits. Okay, keeps your wrist straight. It is ergonomic, so you don't really use your elbow, your shoulder, your wrist, your fingers when you're cutting. You're really using the palm of your hand as you're doing the cutting. But with this cutter, you can cut through multiple layers easier. You can personalize your cutter too. So if you belong to a quilt guild or you're traveling, on the handle here itself, on both sides, you can put your name or a picture. So just truly a fantastic and truly a great ergonomic cutter that you just won. And it does keep your cutting in easier, safer, more accurate by using our comfort cutter. So congratulations. All right.
Wonderful. I did just pull that picture up to talk about ergonomics. I would love talking about the TrueCut system. I know we've had some brief discussion about this earlier on today, but it can be partnered with some of the TrueCut rulers. as well. And then they have this patented locking system that gives you nice straight cuts. In fact, Mark, why don't we go ahead and let's add to this cutter. Let's go ahead and add and just give her the quilter's combo. Maybe pull that out and let's give her the entire system, which I think she'll enjoy a lot more. You'll have a hard time putting that down as you continue to start using this for cutting different things out. So maybe talk about that full package, which is what we'll give to her.
Fantastic. So the quilter's combo, not only do you get the comfort cutter that's in this package as well, Carla, right?
Right.
But you get the true grips. You also get the 6.5 by 24.5 ruler. So that is the most popular ruler being used, and that all comes in a package. And so earlier we mentioned the benefit of having our cutter with our ruler. Just a quick thing, all of our rulers come with what we call a track, and all of our cutters come with a guide. And so you interlock those together, keeping the cutter against the ruler's edge the entire time. So no more veering off to no man's land, no more going up and over the ruler, even damaging the ruler. So many things that come about by having this quilter's combo.
Cutting your fingers.
Cutting your fingers, yeah. So again, fantastic. So upgraded from the entire package right here.
You'll love it.
With it, I just kind of want to point out, again, there probably will be a lot of other questions. We'd encourage you to go to our website at graceframe.com to have a chance and look at the different cutting tools that we have. We do have several cutting tools. Again, you can go to graceframe.com. You can also call if you have any general questions, but one of the best things is we have some really great informational pieces and some videos that talk about how these things interact. And again, I always like to maybe joke here, Mark and Carla, when I'm out, and we've been to several events, and you're talking to consumers, and everybody's go, oh, I already have a cutter, right? Everybody who doesn't have a cutter, put your hand up out there. Who doesn't have 3 cutters, put your hand up out there. Who doesn't have 5? Okay, we have them, and with part of what that is, we started asking people, why did they have more than one? Sometimes it's functional, sometimes it's just because they wanted a different color, which is pretty. What we found though is we started asking around is people are trying to solve some of the major issues. And so Mark, like you talk about, veering away from the edge is one, but mainly we're talking about this major pain in the wrist and the arm that even sometimes goes to our elbows. And so we really took it upon ourselves as we moved into the TrueCut line to solve those type of problems. And so this ergonomic cutter is one that really does that. In fact, we've had customers who think they own ergonomic cutters, and we'll talk to them. And once they have a chance to engage with this cutter, they find that it is completely different than what they had been doing in the past. And it just really is pretty amazing. They always kind of cut, if you can think, Mark, as you've demonstrated this, they kind of go like, whoa, like that was just much easier and it required much less effort. And that is because of the design. So our goal is to get people doing more of what they love, which is usually quilting, and some of it's the piecing. Cutting's not usually on the top. I'm super excited about getting cutting today. No, it's not the case. But with that, if we can do that so that you can do that without pain or struggles or fatigue to the body. And I know we've had stories come back to us of quilters who could not quilt because they couldn't cut anymore. And they had friends that were trying to do that who said now they're able to go back to what they love most. So thanks for sharing some of those details. Sandra, again, congratulations on that combo. I think it's about a $65 value that we'll send out to you regarding that ruler, that ergonomic cutter, and the true grips that keep that from sliding around. Well, let's go ahead and do another one. What's another good question we like to do? And let's find and give away another gift there.
Before I do, we'll see you on the next break. No, I'm just kidding. No commercial breaks. There's no commercial breaks. No, but some of the comments I've noticed as well is left-handed or right-handed. So, Sandra, if you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. The cutters come right-hand out of the package, and you can simply just take the plastics off and just switch them to the front. And so that same cutter can be a left-hand or a right-hand, so it doesn't matter. So great comments on some of those. It is, again, universal to be left-hand, right-hand, so it doesn't matter. All right. So now coming back to the question. Okay, so the next, and I saw some of those up there of maybe not typing fast. And so this, hopefully you got some, magic fingers on this one. So the next question is going to be, and we talked about this kind of throughout the entire segment, but briefly we mentioned from the beginning, is what size of machines can fit on the hoop. And I'm talking about maybe from what to what, like what machine can you end up with and where can you start, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So let's see on that one.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I see.
This is the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw that. Nice
Okay,
job.
up to 19 inches. Okay. So up to 19. So, and then, yeah, so from domestic up to a 19-inch machine is a throw space on
Charlene,
that one.
congratulations.
Absolutely. Okay. So Carla, spin that wheel again. Put some elbow grease into that.
Go with the spin. Charlene, what's she gonna get?
Oh, man, let's do something.
Well, that's finesse thread. That's finesse thread. Charlene may want finesse thread.
Okay.
Finesse thread, right?
It looks like we're up on it, Charlene. So she is gonna give you multiple. So what was the first one?
Finesse
Finesse
thread.
thread.
So let's briefly talk about that. Let's show the camera why she should be so excited about getting our 4-pack of finesse thread, by the way. And we're going to go ahead and do we have a solid or a variegated pack over there? So solid pack.
So if we can zoom in here. And this particular, well, I guess there's just a variety of the most popular ones.
Yeah.
So there we go. Let's hold that up there.
So tell me a little bit about the sizes, how much.
So here's the finesse thread. So quick, Carla, let's talk about the finesse thread. Maybe like the weight of the thread.
It's a
the size
50
of the thread.
weight. It's not cotton, but it feels like cotton. It's less lint, and it's 1,500 yards. It's just right. I am trying to undo it there. There you go.
What's she doing there?
There you go. So anyway, I just wanted to show you how nice, and it sews beautifully. You notice that some cotton threads will sit on top of your fabric as you're sewing or you're quilting. This one lays on your fabric, so it just sews beautifully and it blends in with the fabric. And it does feel like a cotton. It has a little bit of stretch and a little bit of give to it as you're quilting, so it makes it a strong, sturdy thread with beautiful colors to quilt with.
Yeah, with that, Carla, I'd just like to go ahead and just add to that. You know, we came out with this thread not because we're like, hey, let's get into thread, but I'll tell you, it's this experience that customers are wanting to have. And we talked earlier today about one of the core values of Grace Company is an experience, and we are focused on what kind of an experience does a customer have. And this thread is a very clear note on how and why. You'll notice that it's not a giant cone. What we found is when people move from their domestic machines and they start doing quilts, think about this. How many spools of thread are you buying? And then if you're not, then you're buying what? A giant cone of 6,000 yards, and oh, I want orange, and now I'll never use it again. And if you think there's this miss with our core key customer, which is somebody who's now getting into quilting. And what I know as we've talked to customers is you love buying all your fabrics, you love touching them, you love buying them, you love buying your patterns, and we think, you know, you love buying the thread. And so what we're looking at is the 1,500 yard spools. We call them like project size, great for one big project or a couple small projects. And so you're not overburdened with excessive threads, and it gives you a chance to come back and purchase more of what you want for those quilt projects you're looking to do. And so we do have 20 solids and 40 variegated threads. And so it's a really great selection, especially for quilting. And you can look at that online. You can download a free thread guide. If you wanted to call, we'll mail you one as well. But it's been fantastically created. We went and we sourced this so that it did perform. It pulls very smoothly through the machines. Like Carla mentioned, low lint is critical. So normally the solids are about $7.95 a spool. So this 4-pack is a great value we're going to give. But now, Carla, I know that you had a second item that we're going to give Charlene. What was the second item?
Our circle cutter. Yeah. This is awesome, and not the tape's not included, Charlene. Don't worry.
No, see the tape?
Tell us a little, why should you be excited about the circle cutter? I know it's been designed it's smartly designed in order to make cutting circles easy as all get out.
So up to you can cut up to 4 layers of circles, the same size, or you can adjust it to do smaller or larger, up to 12 inches. You can see the circle quilt behind Nathan. It's done with various sizes of the circle, and it was the very first quilt that we prototyped using the circle cutter. And actually, that was my very first free motion quilt. So yeah, you'll love this, and you'll have a lot of fun using it. You can, you know, just actually cut out the circles and put them on the quilt and sew around them, or you can applique them on. There's so many different various ways to use the circle cutter. So I know you'll enjoy it.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Carla. With that, what I would like to do is I want to give away 2 key gifts right now that are part of the drawings for today. And I have a couple names that we have selected from those who've entered to win. And Mark, maybe if you can find, I think you have one of these that we're going to give away. It's one of the smaller prizes. It's a $79 value, but it is our electric sharpener. Let's quickly talk about that. And then I have a picture of the next one, which is the Master Cutting Collection that we're also giving away. And I'll show you what that includes for that winner as well. So Mark, just quickly here so we can get to this next prize as well. What would be the exciting part, and what's the value of that TrueSharp as far as the winner can be concerned?
Thank you, Nathan. I'm going to get one here. Thank you, Courtney. All right, so as Carla holds a box there, so in the box, it comes with tweezers, because we want to be safe. So you grab your blade out. It comes with cloth, it comes with oil, and it comes with a tool to take out the stones. So the key ingredient, so this is our electric sharpener. This is perfect for those who have kept their blades. I know quite a few quilters have kept their blades without throwing them away because of how unsafe that could be. So if you've kept your blades and you have a whole stack of them, that is money.
Right, it is a lot of money.
That's money built up right there that we can use, right? So we sell blades as well. So not to take away from us also selling our blades, but we know how unsafe it could be as a quilter when you're using your cutter and you have it sharpened your blade and now you're cutting with a dull blade, you're pressing hard, you could damage your mat, you're putting so much pressure on your arms. There's so many things that could go wrong, right? By cutting with the dull blade. Right.
Okay. It's like cutting with a dull knife.
Yes.
Not good.
Yes, not good. So I'm going to open this up. I'm not going to actually demonstrate it. You do need to plug it in. It is electric. But there is a key ingredient as to why our sharpeners work. All right. For centuries, we've been using the same method. Right. So we do not want to change that method. That method is using a diamond stone, a whetstone, a ceramic stone. Pretty much a stone is what you need to sharpen your steel knife or blade. Right. And in this case, rotary blades. This electric sharpener is equipped with 2 of them. Right, and they're fine. They're very fine. And they are the diamond stones. So there's one at the bottom, there's one at the top, so it sharpens both sides of your blades at once. Right. Now, we do recommend flipping the blade. Some users who might use one side of the blade more than the other, if you flip your blade over, then that same stone that's been touching your blade will have that same effect. So we recommend flipping it over. Now it comes with really good instructions. The instructions are simple. You press the lid down and you plug it into your wall, and you press a button down, and it tells you for how long in the instructions. Right. But it's that simple. So you simply close the lid, press the button, and that is it. Now, depending on how dull your blade is, now that sounds easy, and it is, but depending on how dull your blade is, you want to repeat that process. So fantastic prize here. Like I said, the key ingredient are those stones, and it does come with the diamond fine stones. So fantastic. And it does all 3 sizes. Gift. Yep. Your 28, your 45, and your 60. So if you own any of those 3 sizes, that's money sitting right there. Let's go ahead and bring those back. It doesn't bring it back. I just want to make this clear. Right. It won't bring it back to a factory sharp edge, right? But it'll bring it back to a near factory sharp edge to keep you cutting longer, safer. And it'll make them last, but eventually you're going to have to get rid of your blades. Yes. So just know that it's not going to last forever. Right. And when you're ready to purchase new ones, check our blades out. They're awesome. You'll love them. Absolutely. All right.
With that, I like to talk about that it significantly extends the life of your blade. And Mark, when we come back, one of the most common things we hear from quilters out there is that they injure themselves, and usually it's because of the amount of pressure. And it's often because, think about this, if this is you, this is probably a great item for you, is that you go past, the blade starts getting dull, and you're like, I'm 3/4 of the way through, and you keep on going, and you keep on going, and that's when we slip, and that's when we injure ourselves. So not only could you cut yourself, but that's where we end up with a lot more stress in our wrists and our arms and our shoulders and whatnot. So we love to say that if you have the TrueSharp 2, you never have to cut with the dull blade. So a great product. Let's go ahead and talk about the winner. Let's go ahead and bring that up. We have our winner for the TrueSharp 2, and the winner is Laura. I want to say Datum is how I want to say that name. Does that sound correct? congratulations, Laura. We have your information in your email. We'll be contacting you to get the shipping information so that we can send you the True Sharp 2 as a winner on that. So congratulations. Now, I'm not trying to jump past this too quick, but let's get to the next bigger combo that we have in Mark and Carla. I'm going to bring this up and put this full screen for us. This is what we're going to be giving away. This is the next item that we have for the winner. And this is the TrueCut Master Cutting Collection, valued at just under $400. And I'm going to leave this on the screen full size because I'm afraid if we're up there, it's going to shrink a little bit. And I know for those on your phones, it's small. So I'm just going to verbally run through what this kit includes and have a brief conversation. So this does include the 45 millimeter My Comfort cutter. So this is that ergonomic cutter we've talked about that Mark showed earlier. It comes with a 5-pack of blades. It also comes with our largest double-sided cutting mat. We're not going to spend a lot of time, but our mats are fantastic. We like the separate printed lines on both sides, and so it really almost gives twice the length of life of any cutting mat if they're single-sided. So great two-sided mat. A non-slip pad. Now this is something you're not going to find anywhere else, but this goes under that mat so you can put it on any surface, keeping it from sliding around. The circle cutter, which you guys demonstrated, so the 360 circle cutter. A set of triangle rulers. We have a 3-pack of triangle rulers. So each one of our triangle rulers, we're doing then each one of our key rulers. So we're doing a 3x18 ruler, the 6.5 by 24.5 inch ruler, the 6.5 by 12.5 ruler, the 6.5 by 6.5 square ruler, the 9.5 by 9.5 square ruler, and then our largest square ruler, which is the 12.5 by 12.5. So this is a master cutting collection. So the mats, the non-slip pads for the mats, the cutter, all of the rulers that we have in our lineup, circle cutters, and an extra set of blades to keep you going on that. So with that, obviously, Mark and Carla, I know that's a pretty exciting gift that we're going to do. Any quick thoughts on that combination?
That is a fantastic combination. So if you're looking and you're piecing together, you're thinking, this has it all, right? So you have all your rulers, you have the best cutter, the 45, you have your mat that Nathan mentioned is double-sided. So that's just a fantastic giveaway right there.
All right. Go ahead and bring up the winner here. And the winner of the Master Cutting Collection is Cynthia Johnson. So thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for participating in this event, and thank you for registering. We hope you're watching. If not, we would encourage you to hopefully watch our reruns here that will play throughout the remaining part of this week. But congratulations, Cynthia Johnson. You won our Master Cutting Collection, which is a phenomenal collection of all of the TrueCut key items that are going to make cutting, what we love to say is easier, safer, and more accurate. So that's really what we believe in, is these cutting tools do simplify that cutting experience, making it easier. It does make it more accurate. And at the end, most critically, is that it's going to make your cutting safer. So congratulations on the winner. Now, I know we're about ready to go over and we want to talk about the giveaway, but Mark and Carla, I don't think we've had a chance to really stitch and talk. Let's talk briefly about that 15R and what we have in regards to that 15R and what that's going to do for somebody once they bring this into their home.
Absolutely. And before we get into that, Nathan, I also just want to mention again, our phone number again, please contact us. If you did not win any of the prizes, they are still available at our store. So 1-800-264-0644. Again, that's on the screen, 1-800-264-0644. You could also email, chat, but take advantage of all of our TrueCut items. Take advantage of all of our sales. Take advantage of everything we have on our site. You could also contact your local dealer if you're in the state that has one. So please go to our dealer locator and see if there's one close by to reach out to them. So I just wanted to, again, throw it out there. I know we have a lot of stuff we're sharing, and a lot of it is, all of it's on our website. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, no, let's see this right here. I'm just going to move it back.
All right. Tell me where to put my fat head.
Okay. So as we get in to this machine, we all know that it's now regulated.
Yeah.
The large throat. It's a great transition machine. And in fact, the 15R is our best-selling machine. Cost, size, durability, maintenance, all of that stuff is fantastic for the hobbyists. And we all know that we are we see and hear about a lot of hobbyist enthusiasts, so this is perfect for that. So let's go ahead and get started.
It's not a complicated machine at all. In fact, I'm going to pull it here. to pull my bottom thread up, I'm just going to use my needle up, needle down button right here, and it's going to put the needle down. And then I'm going to pull my bottom thread up. And then I'm in regulated precise mode. So I'm just going to quickly show you the modes. So with regulated precise, if you stop, the needle stops. Now you can have the needle stop in the down position. Now it's moving because my hand's moving. I'm a little nervous. You make me nervous. However, it stops moving. So you can use it with rulers. There's ruler bases. And yeah, you could really expand your quilting knowledge and use all these different items to really grow as a quilter. So that's regulated precise. So we're going to go quickly move to regulated cruise. And regulated cruise, the needle is going to consistently move up and down. So you don't want to leave it in one place too long. Now I'm going to stop it. Now we're going to go into the baste. You can baste along your quilt, tack down the sides. If you're worried about it shifting or moving, this would be a really nice mode for you to use to baste down your quilt. Then there's one of my favorite modes is manual. Manual is a lot like you're used to using on your domestic machines. And let me turn it on. It's a little smoother. It's not stitch regulated. It's taking you out of your stitch regulation. So I'm moving it just at a nice speed so that my stitches won't get too big. But if I started moving it faster, my stitches would start getting larger. So I want to slow it down. Now I can turn it up so I can move it faster. But manual is just an easy transition. So that's a little bit about our 15R machine. So, you know, check it out online or give us a call.
One of the things I want to mention about the machine, Carla, is obviously it has a built-in bobbin winder.
Yes.
The threading machine is easy. And so the transition, we know that can be scary, right? When you're going from your domestic machine to a 15 or to any long arm for that matter, that transition period, some people say they're scared or it's not as easy or they've been told.
Right.
I will say that our machine from the transition from a domestic has been the easiest. Just because.
Well, right. And you don't have to remember to put the presser foot down.
Right, exactly. And maintaining the machine. And so
Right.
we took all that out of the worksheet. I mean, you
Right.
oil the machine, right? We all know we need to oil the machine.
Right.
But that is as far as you need to go to maintain
And you
the
need to
machine.
change the needles just like you do in your domestic machine. It is so easy to maintain and so easy to use. And it just takes a push of the button. You don't have to remember to push down on the foot pedal, and you can raise or lower your speed and your stitches per inch by just using the buttons as you're quilting, so that as you get in the groove, you're finding out what speed you like.
Absolutely.
I thought maybe I could go ahead and point out a couple things to everybody too. These are some things that are much harder to see with the camera here on the spot. So there's a lot of illumination. You know, you'd ask and know as quilters that illumination is critical. So we have the special lights that are underneath that needle. They talked about the bobbin winder, so I just thought it'd be good to show a close-up picture of that bobbin winder on the top. Great transition from using your domestic machines to a mid-arm so that you're used to a current process. And then, Carl, that's looking like a fairly large bobbin on there. What's the difference? And I know these have the larger bobbins, and Mark, it looks like you already talked about those handles, but tell us a little bit about that bobbin.
The one that fits in the 15R is an M-class bobbin. It's a larger bobbin, so you're not going to be changing it as often as you would in your domestic machine, which has an L-class bobbin, which is a smaller bobbin.
Perfect. And outside of the bobbins and the LED light, the needle or the bobbin winder, but the handles can be left or right. So we're going back to that whole left or right thing.
Right.
We did a customization in our machines that if you're left-handed, you could actually move the buttons from the right,
Right.
the functions, and to the left. So if you want your start stop, that is typically the large button on your right. If you would like that on your left side,
Right.
you can switch. And so now your start stop is on your left side. So if your dominant hand is left-handed, you can switch that over, or if again it's right-handed, you can keep it right-handed. So that's a small customization we built into the 15, which is, you know, no other machine has that. So okay, so the machine, right? We have different modes, stitch regulation, easy to control, easy to maintain, easy to use. I saw some comments on there that it sews nice.
Yes,
it's very
yes.
smooth, and that isn't true. Indeed, that is correct. It is very smooth, but it could be yours with the free frame. And if you already own a Grace frame,
Right. Check it out. Give us a call.
yeah, you can still get the machine. So it's a win-win for everybody on that one. What other things we want to mention on the 15R?
Oh yes, automation. Yeah, definitely. Make sure that if you check out the automation and see what it does, we have 2 different packages. We have the beginnings, which is a lower cost. It doesn't give you all the features that you will get with the Pro version of the automation, but check them out, see the differences, see if there are things that you would like, but you can start out at a lower cost and then upgrade to the Pro at a future date.
Absolutely. All right, Nathan, back to you.
No, thanks.
I really appreciate that. I want to say this is
Kind of one of those spoilers. It's like, oh, we're ready to give it away, but wait, there's more. I want to, but I'm going to quickly just bring this up because this is kind of where we're at regarding part of the Fall Festival. So I am going to throw this, and then we will show you the winner of this machine. But I wanted to quickly just put this on the screen. I'm going to put this full screen really quick here. This is the current promotional offers that are going on, and I wanted to get down to those 15s. And so right now we're talking about this 15R. We do have 3 versions. We have a Pro, so a 15 Pro machine. The 15R, again, the 15R is our most common and popular machine. I think it's because it fits right in the middle nicely from a pricing standpoint. We also have a manual only machine, which is we refer to as the 15M. With the machine, if you're buying the machine, we are including a free frame. You can get a free hoop frame, or you can get the free queen frame. And the hoop frame is the standard Q-zone hoop frame. And this is the pricing structure. So you can get a 15M with the Q-zone queen or the Q-zone hoop frame for $3,495.95. You can get the 15R, which is what we're giving away right now. It's a $4,500 value with that free frame. So $4,499.95 is what the current promotional piece is. And then we also have that Pro machine at $4,999. So just under $5,000 is what that premium 15 Pro is. And again, there might be a couple quick differences, really high level. The 15 Pro does have a touchscreen, and it does run a little bit quicker and faster than the 15R, stitch regulated as well. But again, the 15R is our most common, our most popular selling product right now. So with that being said, I am going to go back and bring us both back online here. And what I would love to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a drawing, and we're going to pull the name of the winner up so that we can announce this to everybody. And then what we'll do is we'll just spend a little bit more time on that 15, and then we're ready to announce our 3 o'clock event, and we'll kind of do a quick recap. So the winner on this, and this is an exciting one.
We need like a drum roll.
We do need a
Drum roll.
Yeah.
So, and this is a big one. This is, again, if you're looking, this is a $4,500 value that we are going to be sending to this winner. And the winner of the 15R is, it's Deneen Urbanek, is I guess how I'd like to say it. So congratulations, Deneen. So with that, what I would like to do is continue to invite you to stay with us. And if you haven't already signed up for your chance to win, we're going to encourage you to do so. This is one of the smaller of the bigger gifts that we're giving away. We gave away a Q-zone hoop frame last week. We've given away TrueCut items. We're going to give away a couple more TrueCut items right now. Here we'll do some more spin the wheels and look with a couple questions here to keep you with us. This is that $4,500 price point that we're giving away. Normal value on this is just under $6,000 with that Q-zone hoop frame. And we're excited for you to be getting this, Deneen. And then we're going to continue to give away items here over the next couple of weeks. And then on our closing day, we also have our live streaming giveaway is going to be our 19-inch sewing machine, our Quilting, or Unique, along with the continuum frame. So professional frame, the light bar, and the computer automated system. So it is a completed package, is one of the biggest. So if you haven't already signed up, going to encourage you to do so. Mark and Carla, really quick before we kind of get back to sharing a little bit more on the gifts. Well, let's do this. Mark, let's go ahead and come up with a question we can post. And I want to post that, and we're going to find out who the winner is, and we'll do another spin the wheel.
That's right. So this is going with our 15R. Okay, everybody get your fingers ready.
Okay.
And we'll do it right after the break. No, I gotta stop doing that. It's not funny. Okay, so the question is this. What 4 modes does a 15R come in? There's 4 modes. What are they?
I just showed them to you.
4 modes does it have?
Yes,
4 modes does it have? I'm sorry. Yeah, there's 4
sorry.
modes the machine has. What are they?
We're not going to regulate you on this.
4 different stitch modes. But you got to be precise. So
you might want to cruise along. Or maybe base in it.
Here you go. This is the big question. And by the way, something like last time, about 85 people commenting. A lot of people there. Thanks for being with us. I'm going to go to the top of this list. What those modes are. We're going to the top. Going to the top. It sounds like someone already polled somebody here. Here we go. It looks like it's Francis. Is that linear? Is what I want to say.
Congratulations. Precise cruise manual
So
base.
let's go ahead and do a double spin of the wheel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Here
So I
we
guess
go.
I apologize. Francis Ledier, congratulations. We're going to do a double spin of the wheel. Let's have Mark spin one and Carla spin one. And we'll look at having you contact us at sales@graceframe.com. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Finesse thread. That's like the
I think it's rigged. I think you got some weight on that, Carla. Take it off the back. Take it off the back.
finesse thread. Okay, so now
So we're going to give you a 4-pack of solid finesse thread. What is it?
It's a True Sharp too.
True Sharp 2 electric sharpener. Congratulations, Francis. True Sharpener 2, the electric sharpener. We're giving you a 4-pack of threads. Super excited. Again, contact us at sales, S-A-L-E-S, at graceframe.com. Again, I'll post that here quickly. Sales at graceframe.com. And thank you. And let's go ahead and do another one, Mark. Let's throw one other question out there and see if we can get somebody else.
Carla, can you think of a question that I try to think of some hard ones, some easy ones. What do you have any that we want to throw out?
You put me on the spot now, Mark.
I did.
Let's do this. This is an odd gift. I'm gonna step in right here. So you know we have True Grips, right? They come in and you can buy them one at a time, 1 pack at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be on your best honor here, quilters. Okay, we're gonna ask this, and I'm just gonna we're gonna post this. We're gonna take maybe the next 30 seconds as we watch what happens. And we're going to give you a full 12-pack of True Grips. Each one of those True Grip packages has 30 True Grips. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to find out who has the most rulers for cutting at home. And I'm curious to have you post them. And I know that this isn't an exact thing, but do you have 5? Do you have 10? Do you have 20? We've had people with 25 and 30. So the question I have for you is how many rulers do you have at home? And we're going to give you a 12-pack of True Grips. I want to say that's just right around $75, $76, I think, on value on part of what that one is. So that's a good little gift. So let's see, we're 72, 71.50. So what do we got? Who do we have? Let's see what's coming up here. And everybody's posting them. We're getting a bunch.
Roxanne at 42.
We got 24, 22, 15. We're seeing 8, 8, 8, 20. By the way, 8's more than I think we all need, but hey, if you're doing triangles, you're going to need probably each one for some different angles, depending if you're doing long cuts, slow cuts. 25. I just put them in an organizer. Way to go. I wish we had an organizer, right? That'd be fun to have an organizer. So 25. We're going. We're going to do this for another, let's keep this going for another 10 seconds about, and then we're going to take a look and see what we've got. 42?
Yeah, Roxanne.
42?
Roxanne, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go, what? 100. Who's throwing 100? Is that true? We believe in that? 50?
That might have taken a little time to put that on there. We said over 100. So let's do this. We're going to take Courtney Block. Let's put this down. We're going to give Courtney and send her a pack. I'm going to choose the next 2. I also have below her a 55 from, did you get Courtney Block down there? Yeah, Courtney? Courtney, you're going to need emails, sales@graceframe.com. We're going to send you a pack of 12. I'm looking to do a me so hot, I guess. Okay. Yes, I am. Thank you. Oh, wait. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give her one, and I'm going to scroll back up here. We're going to choose 2 more. We're going to give one. Let's give one to this 42. Cindy Schwartz is a winner. Sorry, Patsy. So Jean Garcia here, 42, Jean Garcia. And then the other one, let's do, we're going to give away 4 sets of this. This is Michigan Mom, 44, Patsy Stevenson. So congratulations, the 4 of you. We're going to give each of you a 12-pack of True Grips. And again, make sure to contact us at sales@graceframe.com. And we're going to go ahead and we'll put that all together and we'll send those out to you. So again, really quick, I'm just going to bring this back up as we're continuing with the fantastic fall festival for everybody here. Just a recap, if you have not by chance entered to win, you can see up here on the top right corner on our fantastic fall festival. If you're joining us and watching us, go ahead and put your name in to win. That does get you in the drawings that we're doing weekly as part of those giveaways. We are going to encourage you to come back live with us each time as well. We have new content, new new education pieces that we're going to be sharing, new individuals lectures, classes, workshops, live interviews, panel discussions, along with live product demonstrations. So come back and visit with us next Tuesday. We're going to get ready. Leah Day is next up on our list here, and I'm going to read a little something about her in just a minute. But enter to win, and then up the top, if you have quilts, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and submit your quilts here on the Quilt Show and Tell, and you can see right up top there's this option for submitting your quilt. That's pretty darn easy to put right up on there. And there we go, so we can all see that. Thank you on that. We're getting rid of that. We are doing some giveaways, so even if you're not the one that's selected by the people who are voting, we're going to give one of the key individuals, regardless of what category it is, the one selected the most out of all those will receive the big cash giveaway of $500. And then I know there often are questions, and this just shows you the different categories we have. So I encourage you to go and look at those and pop into a couple of these when you're in them. If you're curious on how you vote for a quilt, once you're inside of it, if you actually click on that quilt itself, you can simply select the vote up top, and that vote continues to get tallied. And then at the bottom, I know that we've had several different questions that come up with the different individuals who are trying to submit them, and there's a big facts piece that we have with many of the different questions that we can have answered for that. And again, so I'm just going to pop really quickly into the promotions. Know that we have all of our different machines and our frames on sale. Some of those come with some extra free premiums on the 21s, which is our professional and our top end quilting machine, and also our 19. When you buy those machines, we're including a free frame and in addition a light bar, for whatever size frame you're buying there too. So those are a couple of the key things. With it, I just want to quickly maybe go back to Mark and Carla and see if you had any quick information you'd like to share regarding part of what's going on with this festival, and Mark, maybe what you're hearing on the phones, Carla, yourself from education, and then we'll introduce Leah Day in her next video that we have.
Thank you, Nathan. So on the phones, and not only on the phones, but just like when we used to go to shows too, we hear all the time, but you know, as far as the company, Grace Company, and the values that we have, we really want to make sure that the customer out-of-box experience. So no matter what product you're getting from us, the out-of-box experience we want. So you're going to find that all of our product has been quality controlled. It's very easy to put together. All of our products are going to be very easy to put together. So we want the viewers to know how grateful we are. This has been something that we've been wanting to do a very, very long time. And what a great opportunity it is to give all these prizes away, to go over product knowledge, because that's one thing that when we go to a show, you get that interaction. You know, you're able to come up and talk to us face to face and be able to see our product. And so here's the next best for us to do for you is having this product knowledge here on video to showcase what we have, how wonderful every product is, and the growth of the product. You know, we talk about domestic with just a frame, up to our 15 in a frame, to our 21 in a frame, which we'll talk about a little later in these videos. But the growth is what we like. You don't have to start out buying a $10,000 package. We're only talking about $889, right? $1189. So that's what I love. I love to be able to have product that you as a user, you're not like, oh, I can't afford that. as a hobby, I have my own hobbies, and I know how difficult and challenging it is, right? So what a great opportunity is for you to start somewhere, and you can build by keeping the same frame and build up. So that's why I love, and I'm excited to do these videos with you, Carla and Nathan, but fantastic Fall Festival and all these gifts. It's just been phenomenal. So
yes, and this is the next best things. Too bad. We love the shows and we miss seeing you in person. I just want to let you know that. But this is the next best thing, and it's not something I particularly enjoy doing very much. I'd rather see you in person. However, I am so excited about what we have back and forth to give each other. And with you submitting your quilts, it is so fun to see the talent that is out there.
Maybe Carla, if I could use this as a quick minute. I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking through this, and we have a wonderful audience who's joined us, and I know, that varies from time to time today. But I'll reach and we'll just put this out there. If you have any thoughts on what you would like to see as we continue to do this, I know that this is probably this is not the first event we're going to do. I know that we're planning on doing more of these type events. I know we're looking at building on this with different type of education and participation. And we would love to hear, what is it that you would like to see? What are the things that would engage you? What kind of things would inspire you? What some might just be entertaining. What might just be something entertaining for you to watch?
Like all of us hearing camera calls.
Oh, no. I'm lucky I have one, so it's pretty easy for me to do so. But let me know what else you would like to see out there as quilters. It might even be, hey, there is this big problem on a product. Maybe I wish I had this kind of solution. That's what we found mostly has driven our business, is quilters and customers like you saying, boy, I wish we had something that did this, or I wish we could do more of that. And that's how we've created and we've designed products surrounding the needs and kind of those holes that are out there. In fact, we have some really exciting things that we have later on this fall and first in spring of next year that we're going to continue to bring to you guys. And we're always innovating. So maybe put those in some of the comments. We'd love to capture some of those if you're out there with some of that.